Mr. Chairman, just to echo your comments, because I've had the chance to talk to Senator Pratt a couple times this week, and I have some agreement with Senator Ingebrigtsen that we have some significant work that's been done. Now, I want to make sure that we do our own Senate vetting of the numbers to make sure that they're in compliance with the statutory our statutory ability to do this or to not go too far afield. But this is not meant to quibble with what we've been presented because, again, as been made clear, significant work has been done. But I'll echo what Senator Stumpf just said. Constitutionally, as everybody at this table knows, we can't proceed on this effort without a House file. Constitutionally, we don't have a choice. And I'll be real honest. When we began the session in January, and when we've done deficiency bills historically, and I don't mean, and I guess that this would be the custom and usage, the deficiency bills have followed what's been laid out by the administration. It doesn't matter if it's the Dayton administration or the Pawlenty administration or the Ventura administration or the Carlson administration. Can't quite remember the Perpich administration. But that's what we've done with deficiency bills. In this instance, this year, we had the disaster provision as part of the governor's deficiency bill. The Scott County provision was not part of that. And I assumed that this would be proceeding fairly simply. But I'll be real honest, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to get a little bit of field, but I think it's, at this stage of the game, given where we are in the session, it's going to be instructive to everybody at this table and everybody in the building. I thought this would be handled simply. I thought we'd get a House file pretty quickly. I thought we'd have the opportunity to deal with this. I had conversations with some of the House chairmen, informal conversations, in February, March, and early part of March. And the thought was, as one of them said, we can deal with all of this pretty easily, can't we? Meaning the totality of the session. I said, yeah, I think so. Knowing full well that there were House priorities that were not necessarily Senate majority priorities. All I've heard since then is no to everything. No to everything. And as we've watched the promulgation of targets for the finance divisions over the last couple of weeks, I have never seen such a gap. And if we go back 4 years ago, when the majorities were reversed in this building, I never saw the rigidity from the then Senate Majority Caucus relative to how things were being taken care of in a much more difficult situation. And for the criticism voiced by us, and do I think you, the members of the minority at this table, did a perfect job 4 years ago? No. Would I have done things differently? Yeah. Would we have done a lot of the same things you did? Yes. But I didn't see a total dismantling of Pawlenty programs, much less Dayton programs, as we're seeing coming out of the House. So unless there's going to be some type of willingness to compromise and understand how the system works, and the give and take of the legislative process coming out of a House majority that I've not seen in the years I've been here. And I'm talking about Republican majorities in the House. Unfortunately, this bill becomes almost Exhibit A of what should have been handled simply, cleanly, easily, and again, what we've seen the last 2 or 3 weeks does not bode well for the rest of the summer.
Sure.
Mr. Chairman?
Excuse me, just a second.
Mr. Chairman, I think I was
Senator Pratt.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. To Senator Ingebrigtsen, we've put a lot of urgency behind this bill, and I've had several conversations with Senator Stumpf about that these are unmet needs, and we do need to get these funds out to the local communities. It's not necessarily reimbursement. We're not getting work done on the Prior Lake Outlet and channel because we don't have the funds. We're not relocating properties because we don't have the funds. We're not doing the mitigation because we don't have the funds. And so while I appreciate that we probably have some long nights and grinding conversations, my hope is, Senator Cohn, is along the lines of yours, that we can do this very simply. Help our local communities and continue to move forward. This bill is moving in the House. I haven't had a hearing yet, fortunately, but the original plan from that sense of urgency was to try to move these, the House and the Senate version, parallel, because we have yet another stop in finance, possibly two stops, one in Senator Tomassoni's committee. Senator Cohn, I know you've been thinking about that, and so making sure that we can get this done in the short amount of time that we have. It's unfortunate that this process has been drug out as long as it has.